Good morning. This is Pastor Mark Hendricks of Jasper Pentecostal Church. It's Wednesday, March 10th, and it's a cold morning. It's overcast, but also some blue sky. The temperature on the thermometer is about -6. But there's a cold wind from the north, and so the weather app says it feels more like -14. So we're unsprung, so to speak. Winter has returned, and spring is on pause for a little bit. But good to be out here, and I'm on the Miette Bridge over the Miette River, right here below me, just beneath Takara Lodge, and south of the Jasper town site on Highway 93A. There you can see the bridge railing. Up this way. The Miette River comes down from the far western reaches of Jasper National Park, the western watershed and the boundary with British Columbia and Mount Robson Provincial Park. Behind me you can see Old Fort Point and Signal and Takara Mountains, but mostly in the clouds. Yeah, so the Miette River comes down from the western watershed of Alberta and Jasper National Park. Interestingly, there's other places in the park that are named Miette, and famously also, more famously, is Roche Miette, or Mount Miette on the eastern side of Jasper National Park along Highway 16 East, and towering above the Pocahontas area there and the Athabasca River. On a clear day you can see the nose-like peak of Roche Miette all the way from Hinton. And then beyond Roche Miette, up the Fiddle River Valley, and on the far eastern ranges, or within the far eastern ranges of the Rocky Mountains, is Miette Hot Springs. And saying that just makes me feel good. Hot Springs. I'm looking forward to returning to the hot springs, maybe this summer or this fall, we hope. They'll be open so that we can return and enjoy bathing in the hot springs. And how did these places get the name Miette? Well, we're not sure. Another interesting historical question about our national park. Where did the name Miette come from? One theory is that Miette was the name of one of the early voyageurs or fur traders who came through in the 1800s. And the story goes that he climbed Roche Miette and dangled his feet over the edge, and so they named it after this daring fellow named Miette. However, there are, in the historical documents and records from the area, the fur trade and what have you, there's no mention of any fellow with the name Miette. So that's unlikely. Another idea is that Miette is from the French word for crumb. And Miette means crumb. And so the thought is that Roche Miette, the debris, the rock that has fallen down around the sides of the peak, are named by the French word miette, or crumb, crumbly. However, contrary to that notion is the fact that out here on the west side of the park is a river named Miette. And it is certainly not crumbly, and it bears this name all the way over on the west side of the park, far away from Roche Miette. And so historians suppose that the name Miette is a French pronunciation of the Cree Nation word for bighorn sheep, Myatuk. The Cree man says about the sheep, Myatuk, and the Frenchman says Miette. And so it goes that perhaps that's how the Miette got its name. And it's rather likely because the bighorn sheep, or Myatuk, roam all the way across the park, along the Miette River and on the slopes of Roche Miette and up in the Miette hot springs and all over the park. And so it seems like a likely understanding for how the Miette River, Roche Miette, and Miette hot springs received their name. Myatuk, bighorn sheep. Speaking of sheep, this Sunday I'm going to be speaking about the Good Shepherd from John chapter 10. And there Jesus declares about himself, I am the Good Shepherd. And this is one of the statements of Jesus about his own deity. He says, I am. And this is the meaning of the Hebrew word Yahweh. And 7 times in the book of John, Jesus says, I am. And he associates himself with Yahweh, or the Almighty. And so we understand that Jesus made this claim about himself. And what a beautiful image I am the Good Shepherd is. Jesus is the Good Shepherd. And what an endearing one. And one that speaks about his love and care for us, and the Good Shepherd even lays down his life for us. So that's what I'll be speaking about this Sunday, the Good Shepherd from John chapter 10. Please join me for that. So God bless and have a good week. I'm on the south bank of the Miette River, looking towards the Miette River Bridge where Highway 93A crosses over, and the Miette River that runs underneath. And here it flows into the Athabasca River. And up above the Athabasca here is Old Fort Point. Now I'm on the shores of the Athabasca, and not far from the north bank of the Miette River, where it flows into the Athabasca. There you can see the Miette River Bridge, Highway 93A. Whistler's Mountain behind. Miette River.